Hey everybody, Todd here. I just wanted to let everybody know I hope you're safe and staying healthy. God willing, we'll be through this coronavirus situation soon. In the meantime, we've rolled out a way to still do depositions. We're doing them remotely now via the free Zoom app. Many clients are already seeing the advantages of this because it can be done from anywhere and on any device. I've already done a podcast about it and started a resource library for it at www.toddolivas.com/remote depositions. Check that out or give us a call at 888-566-0253. Okay, on to the podcast.
I want to leave people with a certain feeling after they talk to me or meet me. And so I think that's the most meaningful thing that I contribute is a decent human being that you can interact with, because I'll tell you what, it's very rare these days, to get somebody that just smiles and says hi, or just even holds the door for you, or, oh, hey, you dropped something. I mean, people are I just like to be friendly. I don't know. I try to bring joy to people. Wherever I can, smile and just bring joy. And there's so much to be happy and thankful for, and the little stuff and just the basics is just so much to be grateful for. I want more people to see that and recognize that. So I try to spread the joy, I guess. Hi, my name is Stephanie Lee, and I work with PCH Law, and I am the Director of Client Services.
I know it's such a strange time.
But I'm great. We'll just start with that.
Yes, we will start there. Well, actually, we'll start with this. I remember meeting you on a dance floor once earlier. Was it this year? It was this year, right?
It was January, end of January, I think, or February.
Yes. So I was out there dancing with my wife, and I saw you and some other people out there dancing as well. This was a sort of a workers' comp event kind of thing put on by Angel Guerra Chagoya for the pro firm. And so I saw you out there dancing. I didn't know you yet then, which is kind of strange, right? For such a small world to have not met you till that night, I think.
Yeah. It is a very small
Where
industry.
have I been, or where have you been?
I guess we've been kind of working in our own corners and just kind of moving around for many years. But that was a really fun event. So
it was super fun. Can you imagine even trying to do an event like that today? Like a boat full of people with zero social distancing happening, or
not even possible. Not even possible. I just saw something on one of the social media platforms, probably Facebook, where EDC is trying to put together like what a music festival could possibly look like.
Yeah.
And they had set up like all these like little mini, like, I don't want to say cages, but these little like little pods for about 2 or 3 people to sit in, and they're all socially distanced on this big field. And it's just like,
wow.
It's just so different. When we think of music and entertainment, we're moving around, and which is how we met, because we're moving around having fun, right? Meeting total strangers.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what things are going to look like going forward. It is, it's so interesting, but here we are just trying to make the best of it.
How do you know Angel anyway? Were you on?
So I had just recently met her, probably the end of last year, actually, through a mutual friend who actually invited me to her event. So I was a guest of Vanessa Venegas, and she brought me along, and I'm so glad that she did. And so I have to attend more events or become more involved with, the stuff that Angel's doing and all the other, great things that bring us all together, So I just don't know how are we going to do that? How, Todd?
I don't know. I mean, the last event I ever went to was, I got all the answers. I got more questions. No, the last event that I actually physically was at my own event, which was March 6th, like the week before Governor Newsom shut down California, the shelter-in-place orders for the first time. And so I haven't really seen anybody except on the computer this whole time.
Yep. Right? Same. Yeah. Yep. I went to your event, and then I think it was that was on a Friday, if I believe,
Yes.
right? And then it was that Monday or Sunday, I think LAUSD made the announcement they were closing, and I have, a son in LAUSD. So, oh no, here it goes. And then just everything started closing down from there and just canceling, and it's quite scary. Well, I was shocked, at just thinking, oh my gosh, school's closed for 2 weeks. The daycare's closed for 2 weeks. How am I ever going to get past this? Right. 2 weeks. And here we are, how many months later? I mean, we just kind of do it, right? It's incredible.
Yeah, totally. So. I mean, your day-to-day back then would have been, is there a daycare component, or they would go away to school and you'd go off to work and go see clients and do all that kind of stuff? And
Yeah. Right? So we had 2 different schools, and it was usually like in divide and conquer. In the morning, my husband would take my son to his school. I would take my daughter to her school because they're in opposite directions. And then we off to the boats we go, and just go with our day, and then wrap it all up. And at the end, we pick up our respective children and bring them all home and meet back together, at the house at the end of the evening or whatever. So it's quite different now. We're all here together. So
how are you guys managing now? Like your day-to-day on a work front first, because you're still marketing rep for PCH Law, Policy.
I am.
Law firm.
Yeah.
And so I imagine everything is online and switched to Zoom kind of meetings.
Yeah. Everything has been digital. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I was doing before, business development, was already doing a lot of the email communication and the phone calls and just reaching out and making initial contacts to, try to, broaden our reach in the community. So a lot of the stuff, I was doing a lot of the business stuff, development stuff, prior, but now it's just like all the time, with no traveling and no in-person visits, which is good, not being on the road all the time, because I can focus and I have more time to really focus and strategize on, what the future looks like, what direction we want to go in, what's important now. And, so I have more time to do that, which is good. But on the day-to-day, it's a juggle. And, for the summer, it's been easy because, it's just like, there's no homework and not really much to do as far as the kids having a schedule and being online with Zoom or doing their stuff. So it's been a little bit easier, but school's starting back up. So that should create some more challenges. So
does your husband have the luxury of being able to work from home too, or does he have to go out offsite?
No, he's at home as well.
Okay. So it's everybody all there.
Yeah.
Wow. So, well, hang in there. We're all in the same storm, different boats, as they say, but wow. So what does a day-to-day look like now for you as far as reaching out to clients or interacting with clients? How do you still keep those relationships building and growing and stuff? And this is a challenge that I ask myself every day. Like, what can we do to still reach out and let everybody know we're here, and to make new inroads and make new relationships as well? Like, how are you able to, what are you doing? I want your secrets.
Well, first, I don't know if I have any secrets. I think that's just, what is it? The $1 million question is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And we're all just kind of sharing information to try to figure it out, because we're literally, like you said, weathering the same storm and trying to figure out new ways to stay in front of our clients without physically being able to be present or put together something for them to enjoy, an office party, where we typically would maybe sponsor, something clients were doing for a summer event or things like that. So it really has just been reaching out just one-on-one and just really taking the time to check in with people and just, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. And just really deepening those relationships and connections. For the clients that we're currently working with, and just checking in with them and stuff like that. As far as new business, I'll be honest with you, I was really hesitant at the start of COVID to reach out and ask people for new business and try to go after it, because I felt kind of weird about it, because I don't know what people's situations are and what businesses are doing and what that looks like. And, this is a time for risk management right now, and they are managing real risk and they have a lot on their plate. Do they want to entertain adding another provider or vendor to their panel? So I was kind of conflicted with that, but you know what? I have a job to do. So I just got out of my own way and I just did it. And, I've had some success over the last few months, and it's been going really, really well. So it's just a matter of just reaching out and being authentic. Yeah. I think that's really the key, is just being authentic and real with people. So that is something that I would do pre-COVID. So I don't know that that's changed for me.
Yeah.
So I don't really have an answer. That was a long way of getting to, I have perfect. No answer.
That's perfect. Cause like I am a big believer that authenticity, like the best thing I can do as just Todd, is just to show up and just be me, you know what I mean? And not try and be anybody else. And warts and all, almost, try and be the best version of myself that I can, you know what I mean? But also to not try and be something I'm not, And so the authenticity and the genuineness can kind of shine through in that. And, hopefully people sense that,
Yeah.
So
I hope so.
I can sense that about you from day one, like that you were like no nonsense, but you're also fun and like super knowledgeable and like outgoing and all these things. But there was like a real like soul about you that was, very warm.
After all that generous. Vodka, you have all these nice things to say about me. I must have some killer dance moves.
Oh yeah. It was great. Yeah. So this dance floor was almost all empty except for me and my wife, you and your friend. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name.
Vanessa.
Yes, Vanessa. And I think Michael Sullivan was out there too, the attorney.
Yeah, he was.
And
he was. We were brave souls out there, weren't we? So brave.
Yes.
But somebody has to start the party, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to kick it off and say, come on, it's okay. Right?
Yeah.
Like we're all here. Let's go dance.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah, that was really fun.
We, what we've been doing here at my firm is just to try and, because you said it, this is a good time to like take a breather and actually strategize rather than get in the car every day and just go all day long.
Yeah.
Do the same, right?
Yep.
Because you can't do that. So we have doubled down almost on some of our training, our CEU seminar kind of stuff, all through Zoom, because we know we can't do the big in-person events for a long time, probably.
Yeah.
And so, but trying to show value still to the community. I think that's key.
That is key, and that again, that's the real trick: is how do you show value?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right, and finding out what do people need now that different things are happening and claims and so many people are working remote. Everybody's working remote. What is that going to look like as far as work comp claims, and what do adjusters need, and do they need new training around that, or so it's always changing. It's always changing. So
looking at your LinkedIn profile, is this the first law firm that you've worked at? Because you've got lot of experience. Okay, I was right. Okay, so but you've been in this industry for I think since the early 2000s or something like that, right?
I think 1998. No.
Oh, wow.
No. I'm sorry. 2002. 2002. Yeah.
18 years. Wow. Yeah. What was your first foray in comp at all? Like who even knows about this field? Except those of us who are in it. But like, how did you get?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this is just like the funniest story. So I'll give you a little backstory. So I am a very inquisitive person, and I like to ask a lot of questions, and I just like to know stuff, and I like to know why. So I'm kind of like Elmo, why? I just like to know things, right? And I'm always trying to learn and stuff. So I moved to LA, and I wanted to work somewhere fun and exciting and sexy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So anyway, I found this spy tech store where they sold all these little spy gadgets, these cool little cameras and voice changer machines.
Okay.
No, but real stuff also, like real high tech stuff also.
Right.
And anyway, and I loved it, and it was so cool. And I just wanted kind of more in that, and to get more into that. And I answered a newspaper ad for surveillance investigator, a newspaper ad. Okay. Wild. Yeah. I just answered this newspaper ad because like I'm so nosy, but not only am I nosy and inquisitive, I am good at it. Like if there's some info, I'm going to find it. I am going to get to it. It doesn't matter because I run on like intuition and like a gut feeling. So, like you never ignore your gut and your intuition, right? So I just kind of always went with that. So anyway, I thought, oh my God, a surveillance investigator. How cool is this? So anyway, enter I answered this ad and they hired me, and for $12.25, I had this video camera and I had to sit in my car behind tinted windows and the whole thing.
For hours at a time? Sitting
hours at a time. Yeah.
What were the I don't know what you call them, the marks or the subjects that you were filming? Is this workers' comp at that time?
Yeah, this is work comp. Oh yeah, so this is all work comp. Yeah, so suspected fraud, or they just want to see, what is the extent of the injury, right?
Yeah.
This guy has a hand injury. Why can't he do this job of a parking attendant or whatever? What's wrong with his feet? What's happening? He's off work. Does he have another job? What's happening? So just a lot of the times,
he's out bowling and archery.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, you see some cool stuff, but more time you don't. But it was great, and I love it, and I'm still very nosy and curious. And,
for sure. Yeah. If I was going to sit in a car for like all those hours to waiting for something to film, I would be eating the whole time. I'd be munching, or I don't have to find some habit, right? I at least chew gum or whatever, because I just can't.
Yeah.
I have to
No, you do different things. You find different things to, first of all, to keep you awake.
Yeah.
And so it can become interesting at times, but
for sure. How long did you do that for?
The actual surveillance, I mean, probably just a couple years, 2 years, maybe year and a half, I think. Mm-hmm. And then, I went into, started working in operations and kind of the back end of things. But yeah. I
see Fresco on here too. That wasn't them, right? It was after that. I mean, it was before that.
It was before Fresco, yeah.
Right.
So at the time, it was called MJM Investigations.
Okay. Where
I started. So that's why I entered the business of workers' comp. And I believe now they are G4S. So they're still a pretty big company. But but that was, yeah.
So you decided to sort of make it your career, like this niche, to make it something that you kind of stuck around with. Now, 20 years later, you're still here, So... Yep. What about it? Well, obviously you didn't stay in investigations because you moved on since then through several other pretty big companies, very big companies. But what about this? This industry is a good fit for you. You think?
Well, there's this joke that I always say, which is once you get into workers' comp, you don't get out, right?
Yeah.
That typically applies to adjusters, right? They just get in and you work your way up and you build your skill set and you move around. And so it's kind of been the same thing. I mean, I didn't answer this newspaper ad thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be like Mrs. Magnum PI and I'm going to like do this thing or be Charlie's Angels or whatever. It was just cool at the time. And then more opportunity arose from that. You know what I mean? So it's like, you do a good job. You're a good employee. You're honest. You're loyal. People like to work with you. They want more from you. So they want more of you. So then they want, hey, come do this for us and work in this. And how do you feel about this? And we'd like to, maybe think about putting you here. So it was always just kind of like this stepping stone into different things, into, doing more and quite honestly, making more money. And that's what's really all about, is not staying kind of stagnant. Mm-hmm. And I had a young child at the time. So single mom, totally up to me to kind of, do it. So not striving for more was never even a consideration or an option.
Because you didn't have that luxury. You couldn't just decide to just stay still because you got this child.
I mean, I guess I could have. Some people, I guess, choose mediocrity or whatever. They just kind of go through life and just go and they're happy with that. But I was like, oh no, we're going to do more. So I was always just kind of trying to do more and learn and grow. So it's so weird. The older I get, the younger I feel. I think I'm like Benjamin Button or something.
That's cool. Going backwards.
I want to learn more the older I get. I don't know.
What's the difference between today's Stephanie and like 5 years ago, Stephanie?
Oh, 5 years ago.
Or is that not long enough? Let's say 10 years ago. Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, 5 years ago. I mean, 5 years. I think that I have made some huge growth changes in the last 5 years. I would say just mostly just being more comfortable with who I am as a person, and be more comfortable with just kind of sharing my thoughts and feelings with people, and just getting out of my own head, I should say. 5 years ago, I was frightened to death to walk into a networking event alone.
You?
Park.
Because
Oh
you
my
seem like
God.
super outgoing. Like this, you're made for this kind of work. No?
No, honey. This
Shy?
is 20 years in the making.
Oh,
20
wow.
years. I kid you not. Sit in the parking lot with anxiety, just sweating before, just like, okay, what time? Okay, do you think there's enough people in there? You know, the whole thing. And I mean, that was just a few years ago. And then I just decided, wait a minute. And you just go in there and you look around, you think, again, we're all in this same uncomfortable, weird space. We all need to meet people. We're all trying to make a difference in our own way, but in the same community together. And there's all these people that we don't meet. Why am I standing here trying to be small and awkward? Like, no, I need to meet everybody. And so I just decided, screw it, for the lack of a better term. And I'm just going to go meet everybody. And what's the harm? And I know if I'm uncomfortable, I know there's a lot of other people that are as well. And if I can crack a joke or, you know, do something to make them smile and kind of break the ice with them, I feel like it changes the energy for everybody around, and everybody kind of loosens up and people have a better time and it's easier to engage with people.
I think it's going to be interesting for people to hear that from you, because I think you come across as like super confident and like outgoing, and nobody would ever suspect that internally, or even in the past, more so than nowadays, these like insecurities kind of creep in. But you're a human being, it sounds like, and you know, everyone's to some degree feels those things. But somehow you got over those, and you developed new skills and was able to come out and stop, try to get out of your own head, as you put it. I like the way you put that, you know. I feel like myself too, like I've had to outgrow a shyness and being super quiet by default. And I still am that, like when it's just me, I'm happy being like a loner or an introverted person, you know. But to do a certain job that I've had to grow in some skills, and even doing this podcast has been a great, like, freeing for myself, because I used to hate the sound of my voice, not thinking that I would want to speak, but I've actually come to listen back to my voice and think, hey, it's just me, so I'm okay with it. You know, all the mistakes and all, or poor grammar, or whatever. You know, stutter, all that doesn't even matter. You know, what matters?
It really doesn't.
Being yourself.
Yeah, and I don't know how do we end up getting all caught up in these things that we think that matter, you know, like you said, the stutter, like, oh my God, did they catch that? I stuttered, you know, so many times, you know, things that we notice and hang on to, nobody even really notices. Yeah. And then once I realized that, you know what, I think I remember what it was. It was a few years ago. I decided I was going to get healthier and lose some weight. And, you know, when you're out of shape and overweight, you are probably the most insecure you can be, or that's how I felt anyway, very insecure. And so I signed up for this fancy workout gym place, and I live in LA. So listen, like, it doesn't get any more secure than living in Hollywood when you're overweight. Okay. Yeah. And I just had to do it. If you want change, you just have to do it. And that's the bottom line. And then once I just got out there, I started working out, and I just realized, oh, they don't care about what I'm doing. They're not even looking at me. Yep. These are all my own things and issues. I'm not caring about what anybody else is doing. I don't care. Why would I think that anybody else really cares what I'm doing? No, we all are just trying to work on our own selves. So I think that's also what it was, is when I took my own kind of health back into my own control, I should say, and got a rein on that. Yeah.
Well, kudos to you for doing that, because
thanks.
I've been extremely heavy and out of shape, and then I've been like a roller coaster. You know what I mean? These days,
I do know what you mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, even during COVID and stuff, I have learned new ways to kind of cope, and it's not through eating, through healthier stuff, like healthier choices. You know what I mean? And so, But I do feel a lot better when I feel, not that I look, it doesn't matter kind of what I look like as much as I feel better if I'm in control of eating, for example, rather than the food controlling me because it tastes so great. Or,
Right.
It's just that control piece that like, oh yeah, I'm in control of how much I eat or don't eat.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a journey for me.
It's a journey for everybody. I mean, it is every day.
I know. So like, at a certain point you left the investigation world a little bit and moved over to One Call, very big company.
I did. Yeah.
What was that like? Because that's a big company, right? So now all of a sudden
it's a huge company. That was probably a pivotal moment in my career, I would say, going from the investigation world to this big multi-million, billion, gazillion dollar company. Number one is resources available.
Right.
Processes and structures and education and just service offerings. But it also just opened up my eyes to a whole different world of workers' comp and adjusters and different facets of the business, because in investigation, it was primarily working with, risk managers or the SIU people at these insurance companies or TPAs and the adjusters as well. But you didn't necessarily know all these other people that are important to know in the business. And when I went to One Call, I started meeting all these new people and realized, whoa, this is like such a huge, huge business. And I learned so much more. And so my personal growth kind of grew at that point too, as well. Just
was that role still was that role still going out in person and doing, I don't know, presentations, lunches, happy hours, and those kind of networking kind of things too?
The entertaining and the office visits.
For which of their products or all of the products? It didn't matter.
No, at that time, each service line was kind of siloed, and I was representing the translation and language piece.
Oh, okay.
And so I covered pretty much like the LA area up to Bakersfield.
Do they have a court reporting piece too? I'm not sure if they added one. Or they never did.
Not that I know of, unless something has changed. I haven't heard.
Yeah, I didn't know.
You looking for somebody to buy you? You want to merge?
That's funny. I mean,
they buy everybody, right?
I know they have. That's true. They have. Yeah. Have some of the relationships that you've had like lasted through like the early days through your whole career? Like, do you know people from back then that you still interact with today?
Absolutely.
Isn't that amazing?
Absolutely. It's cool. It's really cool.
They've probably switched jobs 10 times as well along the way, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's
it really is such a small industry, because I've always been in this like LA area where I've worked. I haven't, moved in different territory, lived and worked in different territories in different parts of the country. So I've always just kind of been right here. So yeah. And so you on a personal level, you guys live in LA somewhere? And high-rise building, only because I saw, I don't know what I saw, a view that you posted one day or something, your building. Yeah. We live in the Mid-Wilshire area, Miracle Mile, kind of like 3rd and Fairfax.
Oh, cool.
The Grove, Farmers Market, very busy area.
How do you like the high-rise living lifestyle?
I love it. It's so safe. It's so safe. Nobody is going to break into here ever.
That's true.
That's what I worry about.
I've always wanted to live. Well, when I was a teenager, right after high school, I was an exchange student, and I lived in Madrid, Spain, which is a big city, and I lived with the host family, and they lived in like a high rise, like probably yours is, and I loved it. Taking the elevator up and the views, and just like that style of. I miss it. I love it. So
so there's a window kind of right behind me, and I can see the Hollywood sign out of my window.
Beautiful.
Behind me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
so it's really nice. The only time I don't like living in a high rise is when the elevators are down and I got to climb up all the stairs.
Has that happened?
Not so fun. Many times. Elevators break all the time. We have 2 elevators in our building, and all the time. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
and you have two little ones now, and I see you guys at a park. Is there a park nearby where you guys go to like?
Yeah. Our community is it's unreal, is what it is. It's basically a huge park, kind of hidden in LA.
Right.
So there's our community is just tons of trees and grass and places for the kids to ride their scooters and bikes, and it is a little community. So we're not out on the main streets on Fairfax and like Wilshire. Well, sometimes we are, but for the most part, we have a park just kind of right downstairs.
Oh, perfect.
Per se.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's super convenient. So
because in LA County, kids are not going back to school in person this year, probably at all, right?
They start online. Yeah, so they're starting Tuesday the 18th online, and my daughter's starting kindergarten, and my son will be starting third grade. So that'll be interesting, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm honestly, I'm thankful it's not high school that I'm dealing with, because I mean, if they were having to do like calculus and put together these big long like write papers and stuff, I'd be like geometry. I'd be like, no, I'm out.
I'm out of here. Time for a tutor.
I think I can handle the cutting and the pasting and the ABC activities, and I think I can manage that for the year. And
that's my level too. That's my level too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's so strange. Like pretty much, I for my own self have written off 2020 as far as in person doing anything normal, like with clients and work stuff. You know what I mean? Thank God that we've been able to shift over to doing Zoom depos and interacting with clients via digital. But to go see clients, like what are you hearing? What are you thinking about for your own marketing efforts for in-person visits?
I'm just doing it person by person and asking people what their comfort level is on meeting and dining out, or anything in person, and I leave it up to them. And and just kind of go from there, because everybody is at a different kind of comfort level on what they are comfortable with, and it may not even be that. It may not even, maybe they want to go out, but listen, the schools are closed. We can't go out. You know what I mean? So it's some people, they can't. So it's a toss up. But I haven't personally done too much, obviously, because things closed, they opened, they're kind of closed. So I'm just kind of like, just waiting for it to kind of maybe just kind of open back up, just even out a little bit. But again, I am putting the offers out there.
Oh, you would? You are? And so, but nobody's taking you up. Yeah. We haven't done anything at all. And so like, just been racking our brains every week to see what we could do to stay visible, for one. Yeah,
relevant.
And visible, and also giving what value could we give back this time or this week, you know what I mean? And so without repeating, it's like, all right, we're the
well, that's right. That's the thing. It's like, how do you stay visible and add value each time without just here's the same thing, here's the same thing, and the same messaging over and over. So that's real tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got to come up with some real creative stuff, huh?
Trying to. I mean, we've done these seminars and we've been certified now, so we can offer them with our own accreditation. We used to have to have a third party do that, but at least we got that. And trying to be creative with what the topics are. And, people are kind of zoomed out, like meaning they spend all day on Zoom anyway, and to go spend another hour with the T.O.A. boys is not as exciting as you might think. So, because we've tried some of like the happy hour stuff or like the trivia night things, and they were passably adequate enough, but like, I think people were just wanted to get off the computer altogether,
Yeah. It's hard when you've been sitting all day.
I know.
Yeah. It is.
Right. So with your law firm, the firm that you work for, are they have they started doing a lot of Zoom depositions as well, or
they started? It's been a mix. I know things for a while were just being kind of pushed and rescheduled, but we are seeing some Zooms being scheduled, and so we are doing a little bit of those.
Yeah, so it's like every client is kind of different.
Again,
it's
yeah,
such a personal thing.
It's same thing. It's like, who are you comfortable with it? Do you have the technology to do it?
Right.
So it's like all those factors. And again, we always push for it and always want to do it. And just depends on how receptive the other side is and stuff. So yeah.
With your husband, with doing his work, what's his industry, by the way?
He's a writer.
Oh, really?
He writes he writes screenplays, so movies.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Anything that anybody might want to check out that you can share? Is it
nothing that's been on the screen yet? No.
So it's all spec stuff, or just it's in the works, work in progress.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. A lot of spec.
When I was I have a little lingering desire to be a screenwriter. So back when I was in court reporting school in the 90s, I was in court reporting school, but on the side, I secretly wanted to be a screenwriter. So I was writing scripts. I was learning I was buying all these books, going to the library because they had libraries back then, and figuring out how to
library
write
cards and everything. They punch it with the
yes. The Dewey Decimal System. Remember all this stuff?
Of course.
And so I got really sucked into that world. Like I didn't ever sell a script, but I wrote a script and I got an agent for 5 minutes. Pitched it probably to 2.5 people or whatever, one person. It never went anywhere except I just remember like sitting up in the middle of the night, like typing away on my story and like getting really sucked into that world. I could easily go there and just forget everything else and get lost, Is he like that at all?
It sounds like you have a knack for it.
Well, a desire for it. I don't know if I ever got the knack, but wow.
Yeah, my husband is kind of secretive about his work, and he doesn't. Okay. But he doesn't share a lot because he doesn't get excited until it's like finished or close to final, because he may just end up scrapping it anyway, or just so I used to get real excited, like, tell me what it is, I want to read it. And I used to get real hyped up, like, like so exciting. And he's just like, dude, just you gotta chill, like it's not that exciting right now. And seriously. So I just learned to I just let him do his thing, and he lets me know when there's something that he wants me to take a look at and read, or he'll bounce ideas back and forth or something like that. Right. Yeah.
Well, he was probably used to the peace and quiet during the day, and now kids are home, mom's at home. It must be hard. I mean, this whole thing has been hard.
It's definitely a juggle. We're also on different schedules, not so much now, but I'm typically like a morning person. He's a night owl. So we kind of juggle and balance things that way. So, we kind of work together on who's doing the kids and the work and, things like that. So, I mean, we were all used to some peace and quiet around here. Right. No, my kids have been great. And, it's been great. But I mean, it's certainly hard to concentrate and focus and be creative. I mean, even for me, trying to think about, how do I add value, and, like, what do my customers need and what do they want? And I don't want to just call and say, hey, how are you? Just checking in. Like, what piece of information might help them today? Or is there an article I can even maybe write for them? And again, I'm always trying to think about it. But when you're home and you've got kids, and my husband's in the other room trying to get the kids' desks ready for school. And so I'm listening to all this stuff. It's like, it's really hard to be creative and stuff. So I'll tell you.
Well, you're doing it. You're managing it. You're staying out there. I see you on social media, and I see you like in the mix of it all. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Contributing, keeping your smile going for everybody to see, and I'm sure the clients appreciate it. It's like a sense of normalcy from that comes from seeing you, out there.
I hope so.
So with work, like it's August, it's the middle of August right now. So we're halfway through this year, more than, you know what I mean? I guess it's just, this is where I ask you for your crystal ball, but, cause mine's broken right now, but for the foreseeable future, near future of this year, I mean, it looks like it's more of this. It's like, get really good at this. And it sounds like that you're figuring out how to do this. your old job in new ways.
Yeah, I mean, we have to adapt, right? I mean, we just we're forced to. We just have no other options. And I just heard, people aren't going back this year. There's TPAs are announcing it, carriers. It's just done. 2020 is done as far as, insurance offices and conferences and
it's true.
And things like that. So, it is going to be more of this. And what I need to do is my TV, I have this large TV back here and a screensaver. I tried to get it to work today, but, a screensaver of our logo up there. So I had to just put it in the frame for today, but I had it, I had two different logos. I had one with a black background and one with a white, but my lighting that you can't see, because I got my studio lights on, it lit up my TV so you couldn't see the logo and it all got blowed out. So, technical problems here. So, but
that's great. It's great.
I don't know why I just got off. So I'm trying to figure it out. So trying to figure out a way to do that. But
right. Had you ever done a Zoom before all this? Have you ever done a Zoom meeting of any kind?
Yeah.
You had?
Yeah.
With
clients? No, for clients, no.
Yeah.
No. I mean, so that's all new. I mean, I guess just kind of, we've all done like webinars, internal webinars, company stuff like that. But no, I guess this interface with clients is new. And
right.
So I think it's good though. I really like it. I really like it. So you can really get a good sense of who people are. And the face-to-face is so like seeing the face with the voice is so helpful. I think
it is.
So.
It's so true. So true. I think there are some advantages.
I hope more people embrace Zoom, because like you said, people are getting zoomed out. But as far as meetings go forward, like real meetings, and I hope that more executives embrace it and take it seriously and consider it.
I think they will have to, and they have, and they will have to even more. Because I remember in the first couple of weeks of like March-ish, when we shut down, I think a bunch of our jobs fell off calendar, because I think that those firms figured, all right, well, let's take them off now, and then we'll just add them back in 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, we'll just figure it out. Yeah,
we'll figure it out. And then the 2 weeks came and went, and they were, and then a month later, they still hadn't, tiptoed into the Zoom realm yet, and some did right away, but many didn't. So those ones that didn't, that kind of like were waiting and seeing, they couldn't wait and see any longer. Otherwise, their underlying cases get harmed, delayed. So they had to learn how to do it and get permission from their clients or whatever, but have since jumped in. And, but that probably goes for every industry out there that can do their business like this, you know what I mean? Normal business, and obviously the legal side of things as well.
Yeah. Definitely. So now, are you seeing did you see like an influx or like a rush of people trying to reschedule with you once they realized, it's Zoom. This is it. This is what we got to do. We got to get on calendar. It was
a gradual thing. It was a gradual thing. Some adopted right away, like some early adopters of it. Like the week of, I remember getting 2 calls from 2 different law firms saying, "Hey, Todd, are you able to do remote Zooms or like things on Zoom?" And I'm like, at that point, we had never done one, but I said yes, and we'll figure it out. And we figured it out. You know what I mean? And so then I wrote up a little cheat sheet on how to do it and posted it on my blog, trying to give value to the world. And kind of grew from there. I did some podcasts about it and some videos and stuff like that. So kind of like turned that corner because we had to. You know what I mean? So, but since then, like more and more, it's the norm. Like we have probably 90% of all our jobs, maybe more, maybe 95% are all Zoom or online means, and a few in-person hybrid kind of things. And they stretch out into the future too. So even into like December, we have jobs that are on Zoom, like months out.
And not till December.
Yeah. So they need to schedule them,
they just need to get on calendar.
On calendar, and they're on calendar as Zoom ones, so interesting, the switch.
That is interesting. Yeah. And has the technology been smooth and seamless, or have you guys experienced any major, hiccups or things crashing in the middle of something super important, or it's all been, I mean, we all have strong internet connections and we're blessed. But
So what we did was we realized that a lot of it is on the applicant side, or even sometimes on the defense side, that not everyone is as technological savvy all the time, you know what I mean? And so we bought a bunch of tablets and stuff, and so we have all these some spares. So we'll actually take them to different offices to have people use it if they don't have it, because we just want these things to go forward. So we've been able to, we've been asked, and so we would provide the little iPads. So for people, for the applicants, sometimes don't have the means to, and
right.
their attorney doesn't either, or whatever. So anyway, so we've made it work, because that's where it can fall apart, is if people can't get on, So
I imagine it's tougher in other parts of the country where maybe the internet, they don't have internet, or people that live in remote areas and things like that. Gosh, what's that like? Or weather, the tornadoes and all that stuff. It's, oh my gosh. But
speaking of other parts of the country, did you used to live in Florida? Or were you originally from Florida at all?
No.
Not at all? I thought I saw something about Florida on your LinkedIn.
Oh,
maybe Jacksonville, Florida area. Sales manager, ICS.
Oh, yeah, ICS Merrill. Yeah, so they're based in Jacksonville.
They're from there. But you were.
Yes. However, I actually did live in South Florida for a very short period of time, for 1 year.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So that was a lucky guess. But
that is funny. That's why I was like, wait a minute. How do you know that? I haven't told anybody. That's the secret stuff.
Well, you said you were a super sleuth. I'm a super sleuth too, and I didn't even know it.
Apparently, my goodness.
No, but basically born and raised around here, though, for the most part.
Yeah. So, raised in Northern California in Pleasanton. That's where I grew up, and went to school there, whatever, and then just moved to LA over 20 years ago, and been here ever since. And this is what I consider home. Yeah, just so different. Yeah, Pleasanton was, when I grew up there, was like the suburbs. Yeah, just quiet suburbs, and I need a little more action, so that's why I'm here.
The high-rise living, that's my dream. Yeah, high-rise, big city living, doing a cool job. You probably find a lot of meaning in what you do. Like what's the most meaningful aspect of what you do, you think?
The most meaningful aspect of what I do. There's so many. Let's see. I would say, gosh, I don't know. I mean, it's going to sound probably so corny, but I would just say connecting with people and making them feel heard. That's, I think, I want to leave people with a certain feeling after they talk to me or meet me. And so I think that's the most meaningful thing that I contribute, is a decent human being that you can interact with, because I'll tell you what, it's very rare these days, to get somebody that just smiles and says hi, or just even holds the door for you, or, oh, hey, you dropped something. I mean, I just like to be friendly. I don't know. I try to bring joy to people. Wherever I can, smile and just bring joy. And there's so much to be happy and thankful for, and the little stuff and just the basics is just so much to be grateful for. I want more people to see that and recognize that. So I try to spread the joy, I guess.
Amazing. Well, two things. One was there was zero cheesiness or corniness about that answer. And the second thing was I think that you do that, because that's like the sense that I got from you, from meeting you that first time on the dance floor, and then subsequently, at our event and today and throughout. So like, you're just a real person, and people get that from you. There's like a no nonsense cool factor, like the cool friend, kind of like cool with a heart kind of friend, like, I don't know, like a confidant.
Cool with a heart. I like that.
Yeah, like the cool mom doing cool stuff with her, and also the heart too. So,
oh, thanks.
And that's what I get value too from is the interconnection with the clients, and being able to offer a service. Yes, and obviously, we this is how we make a living too. There's that piece, but it's not mostly about that. Mostly it's about serving an industry, and these relationships are just amazing. You know, got some lifelong, and you do obviously as well, lifelong relationships with these people. That make coming to work like almost like not working. You know what I mean? It's just going to check in, help these people get their job done.
Yeah. It makes the day better, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you build the relationships with people.
So looking forward down the line, I mean, past 2020, of course, but is this like your lifelong career? This is where you want to stay put?
Gosh, I don't know. For now, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never a person that said, I want to be this when I grow up, or I want to do that. I mean, there were a couple things along the way, but
yeah.
So we're just going to see how it goes. And if my intuition takes me in another direction, I'm going to follow it. So I don't know what the future holds. I just hope that it's fun, or I'm going to make it fun. That's what it is. I'm going to make it fun, because we all control our own happiness. Right?
Very well said. Excellent. I could go on, but I think that's a great place to kind of like tie it all up, like right there, what you just said. Did I forget anything overarching or anything specifics that you'd like to bring up about this, that, or anything?
No. This is so great. This is so great. No, I hope if anybody hears this podcast that they just continue to work hard and be a good person and be nice.
You heard it, people. That's excellent advice and a great reminder. Yeah. And you've been such a generous guest on our T.O.A. Storytellers podcast. Stephanie Lee, I appreciate you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Todd. It's been such a pleasure.
Likewise. Okay, see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, it's Todd. I just want to let you know this T.O.A. Storytellers podcast episode is sponsored by my company, Todd, Olivas & Associates. We've been supplying court reporters for Deposition since 2003. If you're an attorney and need a reporter anywhere in California, we've got you covered. We're on a lot of preferred vendor panels already, but if we're not on the ones you have, usually a simple inquiry from you to your TPA or employer does the trick. Or if you work at a TPA or employer, please ask your defense attorneys to give us a try on one of your files. We've been known to treat our clients like family, and we would love a chance to work with you next. To schedule a deposition, simply call 888-566-0253 or visit www.toddolivas.com. That's www.toddolivas.com. Thank you, and hopefully we'll see you at your next deposition.